70% of people say that they pray on a daily basis. Of that, about 35% of people say that they pray for their health, especially if they have a chronic health condition that they're working to rebalance from and get better. With that, also, about 12% of people are part of a prayer group where people are intentionally praying for each other to like compound the effects of that prayer. And one of the things that we know is that when people are prayed for, they actually heal better and heal faster from different health conditions. Prayer is one of those things that you can do easily and incorporate into your life to help support your healing process and even the healing process of people that you know and people that you love. What is prayer? Prayer is when we are making requests, making supplications to the Creator, to that higher force, to God, or whatever name that you may call that higher force, that creative force, that divine force that put everything in motion and keeps everything in motion. We have our planets and the stars and nature, the seasons, every day and night. We don't have to do anything. And all of these things occur within a certain balance that we couldn't even comprehend. When we pray, we're making requests to be within the order so that we can experience the highest possible experience in every particular moment. And when we're praying for our health, we want to experience the greatest form of health that we can. With prayer for our health, I would suggest that you pray for continued health. You don't want to wait until you're sick. You don't want to wait until you have an illness or some sort of diagnosis to begin turning on your process of praying. You don't want to take it for granted. You want to pray for health. You want to pray for the health of your loved ones, of your children, of your spouse, of your parents, of your friends, of yourself, first and foremost. And so what we're working to do when we're praying, we're working to, again, have that highest result. When I'm starting with a client, I'll say a short prayer where I will ask that the spirit of health, that the spirit of healing be present for the condition at hand that I'm working with, and I'm grateful. And then from there, I just let go and let God, as they say. I have years of experience, years of training, and so work to quiet myself and tune in so that I hear that inner voice that is guiding me to, with acupuncture, to pick the right acupuncture points. When I'm helping folks with herbal medicine, to get them the proper herbs that they need for their particular diagnosis, for nutrition or exercises or whatever sort of modalities, not just depending on my own wisdom, but my wisdom from and understanding from the studying that I've done, and also working to tap into that force that say keeps everything in order, that higher force to help to guide my movements and guide my ways. And these are the things that we want to do for our own health. When you're praying for your health and praying for knowledge, wisdom, and understanding on what to do to maintain your health, or if you're sick, to return back to health, you will get messages for what you need to do. And part of the faith is to then move on those messages, to go on and take the actions that you need to take, and not just waiting for some miracle to happen. Part of the miracle is from the actions that you take and the results that you get from that. From my own experience, when I'm moving from faith and taking action from guidance that I get for health and for other things that go on in my life, things will happen. And from that, I'll kind of get the next um, instruction for what I need to do and have faith and keep moving. And so when you're working to maintain your health and working to return back to health, a big part of it is when you take that step and you're making your prayers on a daily basis throughout the day. That prayer is internal, where you can speak it out loud, or you can say it in your own mind while you're walking, while you're driving, while you're sitting at your desk, and anytime during the day, putting out that request for the highest possible good to happen. And then you'll get the message. Different experience. The miracle is when different things begin to fall in line and fall in order and be in order. And your job is to then move and do what you need to do to take the action. So say if you're coming in for treatment, and we do an evaluation, and there's certain things that are they're prescribed to you to do, whether from me or if you go to another practitioner or a doctor or whatever, there's certain things that you are told to do. And a lot of times where clients or patients falter is they don't follow directions. You're told take your herbs, you don't take your herbs. Or you're told do your exercise and you may not be doing your exercise, or eat this food, or get some rest, or do whatever it is. And your job is to do your part, to play the role in your healing, and not just expecting for your practitioner to do everything for you and then you can just do whatever you want to do. That's not how it works. You're with yourself 24/7, 365. You may see me once or twice a week, or we may speak once or twice a month, depending on the type of treatment plan that we have set up. And so part of your job with faith, and where they say faith without works is dead. So we are working again to get in tune with the highest good for our bodies to experience. And when we're looking at our bodies, we have so many aspects of ourselves. We have our physical health, where we oftentimes that's where we're feeling may have pain or upset stomach or poor sleep or indigestion or whatever. Oftentimes we're just feeling that from the physical level. But we also know that we have our emotional health. We have our spiritual health. We have our mental health. And all of these things, especially when we're looking at your health from a holistic level, they all interplay and they all intertwine and they all affect each other. And oftentimes, when we work on our mental health, that will have a direct relationship and effect on our emotional health, which will then have an effect on our physical health. And when our body is strong also physically, it'll have an effect on our mental health and our emotional health. So that's one of the great things about this medicine in terms of traditional Eastern medicine or Chinese medicine, or we could say Taoist medicine. And when we look at the Tao, we're dealing with balance, the balance of yin and yang in your body, the balance of the 5 elements of wood, fire, earth, metal, and water, which relate to the liver, the heart, the spleen, the lungs, and the kidneys in Eastern medicine. And each of those organs have all sorts of correspondences. For example, as this is being recorded right now, we're in the fall season or the autumn, and the autumn is ruled by the metal element. And the metal element rules the lungs and the large intestine, the lungs being the main organ and the large intestine being its parent organ. So this time of the year, people often have lung conditions like common cold, where we have shortness of breath, tightness in your chest, nasal congestion in terms of stuffy nose, mucus. Some have a cough, a dry cough, unproductive cough. There's so many different things. And so also with the metal element, in addition to its functions with the lungs that we just talked about, the emotion of the lungs is sadness and grief. So long-term sadness and grief can actually begin to weaken the energy of the lungs, the chi of the lungs, and lead to some of those other conditions that we spoke about. When we look at it from a psycho-spiritual aspect, the energy of the lung deals with our like instinct, our animal instinct part of us. So when our lungs are weak, our instinct, that aspect of it, of our bodies, and of our spirit, can be weak in that ways, because the energy of the instinct actually like houses in the lungs. And so there are many different things that you can do to support the lungs. You can do some deep breathing exercises to help to support the lungs in that way. Different things like your qigong exercises, your tai chi, anything where you're purposely focusing on doing deep breath, abdominal breathing. There's certain foods that are in season this time of the year that are going to support the healing of the lungs. Things like your pears, your apples, cauliflower, broccoli, all of your different greens, cabbage and onions. All of these things are going to help to affect the lungs. The lungs also rule the skin. This time of the year, your skin can tend to be dry, and we say the lungs rule the skin, and the lungs open up to like the nasal passages. So some things you can do to help keep your nasal passage, your nasal passage clear, is to do things like the neti pot, or like a saline rinse. They have certain bottles now where you can just squeeze it and rinse out your nose. That's also going to help to clear mucus out and help to strengthen your lungs, which is going to make you make your body stronger in terms of being able to deal with sadness and grief. And so you have that whole holistic aspect, and that goes with all of the different organs. We're not going to get into the heart and the spleen and the liver and the kidneys today, but you can imagine where all of those different organs are affecting your muscles. So when we're dealing with pain and injury, which is my specialty, I have to also not just look at the physical health in terms of how it's manifesting as muscle pain or joint pain or back pain, but I also have to look at how the heart rules the blood vessels, how the liver rules the tendons and joints, how the spleen rules the muscles, how the kidneys rule the bones, and again, how the lungs rule the skin. And that holistic aspect of making sure that those organs are strong so that the corresponding physicality can be strong also. So, um, so again, we're going to begin to wrap this up. I am Dr. Bashar Wilson. I'm a doctor of acupuncture and Chinese medicine. I've been in private practice since 2002. Have a private practice here in Brooklyn. And I am also available for evaluations where we can and get on video, and we could do health evaluation where we're discussing your health goals, for internal health, for pain, for anything. And we'll do a evaluation where we discuss all of your body system, your body systems, and that then begins to paint a picture of what your own personal individual constitution is. And then we can begin to create a treatment plan for you of many different modalities, whether it's your herbal medicine, nutrition, exercises, lifestyle changes, nutritional supplements. If you're local to New York, we can get you in the office and do some acupuncture and cupping and electric stimulation and infrared heat, and so many different ways that we treat your body holistically. And as you're going through that process of healing, it all becomes a prayer. Where the same way you say grace over your food, to pray for your food, you can pray over your herbs. So while you're drinking your tea daily, or even your coffee or your water, you can pray over. You don't just pray over your food. You want to pray over your water. You want to pray over your nutritional supplements. You want to pray over your body. You want to pray as you're doing deep breathing. You want to activate that higher energy and tap into that God force, that divine force, as much as possible. And as you begin to tap into that, as much as possible, you'll experience health on a high level. Lastly, you can check out my website, manifestherbs.com, where there are different herbs on there. As we spoke about the lungs, I have a lung builder tea on there for folks with pain, a joint pain tea, an immune builder, and all sorts of remedies. And so, like I said, there's so many different ways that we can tap in. Again, I'm Dr. Bashar Wilson on all platforms. Hit that like and subscribe so you can tap into some more videos. We work to regularly release videos weekly, at least. You can give me a call at 888-375-5444 to schedule an evaluation and discuss your health goals and create a personalized treatment plan. And lastly, again, you can go to manifestherbs.com and check out a plethora of formulas that we have on there. A lot of these teas are based off of formulations that go back literally 1,500 to 2,000 years. So I want to pray for your health. I pray that you experience the highest health possible, and that you are so in tune with your body and in tune with your health that you achieve your life purpose. So again, thanks again for tuning in, and I will see you soon. Peace.